Welcome, everybody. Let's give people a chance to join here. See who comes in live today. If anybody on the Martinis with Scott channel. Hope you all had a great weekend. I'd like to start this at 11:45. If possible, give people a chance to join. All right, here we go. Martinis with Scott. We're doing our daily check-in. We tried this last week. I got some positive feedback, and so we'll try it another week, see how it goes. I like testing things out, and maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's a bad idea. Obviously, the Thursday afternoon Martinis is still what people watch in terms of viewership. This week, by the way, we're going to do GameStop. I'm going to spend the whole, up to an hour on that. We're going to talk about shorting stocks and stock promotion and who's good and who's evil, if anybody, on both sides of that in this fun story of GameStop. Well, today I want to talk about passion on our daily touch base. Passion for work, passion for life. Over the weekend, I was listening to somebody on some, on Twitter or Clubhouse or somebody talking about entrepreneurialism, being an entrepreneur, what business they should start, how do they find their passion? And the answer, of course, what business I should start is always from the gurus. It's always, you need to be passionate. How do I find my passion? Who knows? I don't know what the right answer to that is from the gurus. And then you get into this, I hate my job, and they tell you to leave your job. You need to be happy. I hear this all the time. Successful people and influencers like Musk and Elon Musk and Bill Gates, Damon Johns and his own it, love it, live it. And I always wonder to myself, what they tell you is you need to be passionate. Let's see if I can get that more straight for you. You need to be passionate because to be an entrepreneur, you need to work day and night, and you can't spend that much time working on things that you don't care about, that you're not passionate about. And it seems to me that very often these people have the cause and effects mixed up. Is it that you're successful because you're working on something you're passionate about, or are you passionate about something because you've been successful in it? And I'm pretty strongly of the view that it's the latter, that you are passionate because you're successful. I know this because I work in troubled companies for 30 years. And so I've stepped into hundreds of businesses with owner managers and entrepreneurs who were passionate. They were passionate about their business because they started those businesses and they went on some sort of ride, and that's what they were doing. But when I meet them, when they're troubled, are they still passionate about their business? God, no. They're beaten down. They're depressed. They're the last thing from passionate. They could literally, if you're really in trouble, you can, it's hard to focus on your business for more than an hour or an hour or two a day. And you just can't take that amount of negativity. So no, passion is a large part about success. Let's talk about me, for example. There's an old adage in lending that you don't want to lend to somebody who's passionate. You don't want to lend to somebody who's passionate because they're not businesslike, right? So that's a high risk loan. I run a channel that you're listening to right now called Martinis with Scott. Clearly, I like martinis. I am passionate about them. There's nothing better than I like in any city in the world, sitting down at a beautiful steakhouse bar, having a couple of martinis and a good meal, chatting with the staff, chatting with my neighbors at the bar. That's something that I like and that I am passionate about. Should I start a bar to replicate the success that I have? I'm sorry, I'm going to move this pin back here. This is a pin that my father gave me of the I don't know if you're old and you're Monty Python fans. This is the Black Knight, who's had worse. It's just a flesh wound, but I stuck it up there and it's driving me nuts. So should I start a bar to replicate the financial success that I've had in banking, in turnaround management, in investing? Or would that be a bad idea for Scott to just stop doing what he's doing and become a bar owner because I love drinking martinis? I'm very passionate about being on two wheels. I love mountain biking. I love dirt biking. I grew up dirt biking, not so much mountain biking. Should I, once again, at 55 years old, go pro, turn professional, and pursue my passion of motocross and supercross. Should I do that at 55? Let me give you a hint. It wasn't working that well for me when I did that at 18, 19. All right. I wasn't making a bunch of money doing that. Should I at 55 turn pro? Mountain biking, I'll tell you, I started downhill mountain bike racing when I turned 40. And in my age group, I did just fine. I have a couple of bronze medals in Canada. But, you know, in the big picture, I was getting smoked by anybody who was any decent at that sport. Clearly, I should not be doing that to follow my passion. But I am also now passionate about what I do because I'm very successful at it. And I've been able to find some harmony between what's now important to me in my life and the success that I'm having. And I had to rebrand Sinclair Range, my company, to do that. I was, you know, for 30 years, I was an advisor, a consultant. I was helping other people. I was making great money. I was making great fees. People pay me, you know, more than 7 figures to come in and help them figure out their business. But I was starting to lose some passion for that. I was starting to get worried that at my age, maybe, you know, buyers and investors and the fund management side, when you're dealing with people that are in their 30s, what do they want to hear a pitch from a 55-year-old guy from? So I started to make the transition into what we call the buy side in my business, becoming more of a direct investor. And I define the passion as helping to save jobs. I define the mission as helping to save jobs. And there's a big picture goal that is not too specific, but is a driving force. And within that, I've been able to do basically the same work, but rejuvenated, and we're growing. We've probably doubled the size of the firm in the last 12 months, and things are going terrific because of that passion. When I started my career in 1987 as an accountant, and I became a chartered accountant, and then a CPA, a Canadian version of that. You have to go through an audit stream. So you have to go around in an accounting firm, you have to work night and day, 7 days a week, and you have to be an auditor. And an auditor means you have to sort out cash and make sure it's reconciled. You have to look at your receivables and make sure it's reconciled. If you are from outside the accounting world, you would say that is really boring. And if you're from inside the accounting world, you would say it's even more boring than the other people think. Like it's really not an exciting experience. But I was able to focus and look for the positives. I don't know why I was able to do this, but I was able to look for the positives. The positives were, I was in a different business every 3-4 weeks. I was intimate. I was in the details. I was talking to the management team, and I got to learn, apart from cash reconciliations and accounts receivable, I got to learn what works in this business, what doesn't work in this business, why, what is this business about? And I was really good at it. I was good at it. And because I was good at it, I found myself passionate about auditing. Who gets passionate about auditing? If you can create your passion by being successful. Here's what I'd like you to think about. So many people are unhappy because they're out trying to find their passion. They're searching for it. I don't know what my passion is. I got to look for it. I'm trying this. I'm trying that. I don't know. Here's a different piece of advice. Pick something. Pick something, anything, and then work as hard as you can on it for a defined amount of time. In other words, I'll give myself a week. I'll give myself a month. I'll give myself a year. Give yourself some amount of reasonable time and work your butt off on that one thing. Say no to other things. Stay really focused and see what happens. I promise you what's going to happen is something positive. Okay, and I don't care if you're a drive-through attendant. Be the best damn drive-through attendant you can possibly be. I don't care if you're an auditor. I don't care if you're a lawyer who's lost their passion. You know, there's very few happy lawyers in life. That's a little secret. I don't know if you know that or not. Be the best that you can be and see what happens. And what might happen is you'll create a passion for what you're doing, and because you've got out of your negativity, because you've created some passion, you may be able to see that there's other opportunities, and the universe will guide you to the next thing that you have to do. Scott, you say, Scott, I don't want to be the best drive-through attendant that I can. I want to change the world, right? I don't want to be an auditor. I don't want to be a drive-through attendant. I got bigger plans for my life. I got bigger plans for myself. Well, that's cool, but we can't all be Elon Musk. Don't lose sight. Don't lose sight of what you're trying to change and what your own values are, okay? And let's say, for example, your values are, as mine are, in my morning mantra, positive, hustle, and integrity. Doesn't matter what my job is, I can still have those values, okay? If you want to put light into the universe, if you want to make other people happy, can you do that as a drive-through attendant? Of course you can. Think of the opportunity to do that as a drive-through attendant. If you were to drop your cloud of negativity and your unhappiness, by the way, I love drive-through attendants. The reason I picked that is because I'm always in a drive-through. So, so I'm not, and by the way, I'm always in a drive-through, and what a huge difference in my day and in my life between a happy, positive, fun drive-through attendant and someone who hates their job, right? You know that. Think of the difference. Everybody here has been through a drive-through. Think of the difference between meeting those two drive-through attendants. You can double down on what you're doing. Be the best. Work hard. Give yourself some time. If you can't stomach it, leave. You got to leave. You got to go to something else, and you got to do the same thing. Okay, but you can't change to follow your passion. You need to change because you worked, you tried to create your passion, and that didn't happen. But very often, you create your passion, you work your ass off at that one thing, you focus, and what you're going to find is the universe comes to you and says, here's another opportunity. You got promoted, or another company tried to hire you, or you can change your practice area like I did from audit. Because I was really good at audit, I was offered the opportunity to move into investment banking. Okay, so there is what the universe provides for you, but you got to do your part. You got to be positive. You need to work. You need to create your passion. Create your passion. Don't go looking for it. Hope you all have a great week. Hope you had a great weekend, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.